Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Foster and I'm studying Human Resources Management at the Institute of Technology Carlow in Carlow Town, Ireland. I'm currently standing in Carlow Town Park. It's one of the main parks in the town and it's a nice area for you to relax, have a picnic, or just kind of walk around in. There's a beautiful bridge as well as the beautiful scenery of this town. So I am a Canadian student. I studied for 3 years at Durham College before coming to Ireland to study for my final year to get my Honours Bachelor's of Business in Human Resources Management. So the reason I decided to come to Ireland was because I really wanted an international experience, and they had a great entry point so that I could take my 3-year advanced diploma and enter right into my 4th year of school, which meant that I was able to complete my honours degree in 9 months. So it is now December and I'm halfway through my 9 months here, and I just wanted to make this video just to give you an idea of what the experience is like, some good things, some challenges, as well as what you should expect if you're wanting to come to Ireland. So I'm just going to start with my arrival. So I arrived on September the 2nd of 2018. I came to the airport and the school had arranged a taxi for me to pick me up and bring me to my apartment. I'm staying at Riverbank Apartments, which is owned by Hatch Student Living. It's a student-specific accommodation. I've got my own bedroom and my own bathroom. I've got a double bed, and I've got a kitchen and a living space that I share with one other roommate. There are other different kind of styles of apartments in this building, but I kind of decided that I wanted the nice big room with my own bathroom, so I chose a little bit more of an expensive option just so that I could have a little more privacy. It's about 15 minutes walk from the school, and the apartment is a 5-minute walk from the grocery store, 2 minutes into town, and then of course it's about 2 minutes from the Foundry, Tully's, and various nightlife activities that you might want to do while you're in Ireland. School started about 2 weeks later. There was a week of orientation for international students. On the Friday we had a day in Kilkenny, or you could do a couple other different activities, and you got to see a castle and you got to explore around the little town there. School starting was a little bit different. Your timetable comes to you the Friday before school starts. I have 5 courses and a dissertation. So I'm taking Industrial Relations, Applied HRM, Contemporary Developments to Human Resources, Strategic Management, and Employment Law, as well as I'm doing a dissertation. So with the classes, the class size varies depending on which class you're in. My main classes, which are Applied HRM and Contemporary Developments to HRM, are just Human Resources students, and there are about 21 students. The largest class size that I would have is in my employment law class, where there's about 45 students. So it is a little bit smaller than maybe what you're used to back in Canada, which is nice because the professors really get to know you by name and really get to kind of be there if you need any help or any assistance. Some of the challenges that I've had coming here is the scheduling. It can change week in and week out. And when I first came here, I wasn't really sure how it worked, and you don't really choose your elective beforehand. So for me, it was like, I was like, where do I go? Kind of another one of the challenges coming here is that you kind of have to get used to walking everywhere. Back in Canada, I have a car, and I was quite used to being able to hop in my car and go to the grocery store and go out and just grab something. But here you don't have a car, and so get used to walking everywhere and kind of being able to carry what you need to back. What's great is that, again, like I said earlier, Hatch is only a 5-minute walk from Aldi, and from Tesco's it's about 8 minutes. So you're really close to the grocery stores, which is really nice when you're trying to buy groceries or buy things for your apartment or so on. I have really enjoyed my time in Ireland here. I have traveled around a little bit. In September I went to Galway. I spent a weekend in Galway just kind of exploring around. I stayed in a hostel. I met another Canadian girl there, and she ended up later on in November coming down to my apartment here in Carlow, and we got to spend some time together again. I've also been up to Dublin. There's daily bus service, so bus service runs, like, I want to say a handful of times, so probably about 10 to 12 times a day depending on what day of the week it is, and it goes right from Waterford through Carlow and then up to Dublin Airport, and it goes through the city as well. So I've been up to Dublin probably 4 or 5 times just for the day on Saturdays. Carlow can get a little bit of like a ghost town on the weekends, especially because it is a very big student town. There's a lot of students that are here. There's the Institute of Technology Carlow, as well as there's Carlow College. So it does get a little bit quiet on the weekends. So it's a great way for you to also be able to explore other places. My friend Kirsten and I also went down in September to Waterford for the day. We saw the Waterford Crystal Factory, which was really cool, and we got to kind of hold some of the crystal objects, as well as we also got to see like how the crystals were made and how the pottery and that was made in the factory, which was really awesome, and I would totally recommend the experience. Don't forget your student card, because one of the great things about Ireland that I don't think was a thing in Canada is that if you have a student ID card, you get a discount in a lot of places. Busing, you get a discount. You also get a discount with different museums that you go into, different stores. Fairgreen Shopping Center in the end of October had a student discount day, so each of the shops like that were in the Fairgreen Center, which is in Carlow, they had different discounts for students. So you just had to show your student ID and you got a discount. I ended up going to New Look, where I got a couple of t-shirts, and I ended up getting them for really reasonable actually because of that. Another great thing to do in Carlow is the cinema. We've been to the cinema twice. I went and saw, I forget what the 2 movies I saw were, but I saw a couple of cinemas on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays. They have really good deals at the cinema. They've got, like, you can get your popcorn, your drink, and your movie ticket for like 10 to 12 euros, depending on what day you go. Also, there is a student discount, and that's on Tuesdays at the movie theaters. So again, bring your student card, because you're gonna get some discounts, and it's pretty awesome. In terms of like kind of other challenges academically, I haven't really faced a lot of academic challenges. The year's kind of different than it is back in Canada. It's not semestered. I think one of the things that we're used to at home is like you have 14-week semester and you got all these mini assignments that you do throughout the year. In Carlow, in IT Carlow, it's not like that. It's one full year, and you've got the same courses that you do throughout the whole year, and you've got big assignments that you have to keep working on. So for example, I had a law assignment, and that's worth 40% of your grade. So you have to make sure that you stay on top of your work, and that you kind of pace yourself, basically, because you're not going to get someone who's going to give you an assignment and tell you to hand it in next week. You're going to have them over a period of time. The lectures are really great here. They really work with you, so if you have any sort of like other assignments that you have to do or whatever, the lectures here will kind of work around each other. So don't expect to have like 3 tests in one day or such, because the professors do try to kind of work with each other. For example, in my employment law class, I had an assignment, and originally she had made it due on a Tuesday, but one of the groups in that class had another exam on a Monday, and so she said, okay, well, I'll extend it to the Thursday to give those people the time to work on the assignment, make sure they do a really good job. So that's kind of a few things that I would really recommend. I do recommend coming to Ireland. Overall, I've had a really amazing experience. I'm super excited to come back in the new year. I think Ireland, what makes it different than maybe going to the UK, to Australia, or to any other place that you might want to go to, is that As a Canadian student, you don't need a visa. You apply for an Irish resident permit when you get here, and you have that meeting about a month or so after you arrive. The international office is great. They'll give you lots of instructions and tell you who to book it with. You also have the ability to move around in Europe, so when you're here you can get some really cheap flights and you can go to other places in Europe. For example, in April I have a trip booked to Greece, and in January when I come back from Canada, because I'm spending 10 days at home, I have a trip to London booked, and the plane tickets were really cheap. You can book with Ryanair, they've got sales on all the time, and yeah, you can just get around in Europe pretty easily. Also, I find that the way of life is pretty similar to Canada. Although there are a few cultural differences, I find that Irish people are very friendly, much like Canadians. Irish people speak English like Canadians. Irish people have kind of more of a laid-back lifestyle, much like some of us Canadians. So you're not going to find a huge cultural difference between Canada and Ireland. So that's kind of a few reasons why I'd recommend it. And just it's a great place to study. It's not super far from Canada. Like my flight from Dublin to Toronto is like 7.5 hours. It's not as bad as flying into Australia, and it's pretty reasonable. Like I paid, so my tuition was 7,500 euros, which was about 11,700 Canadian dollars. I paid my tuition before coming into Ireland. And I also had my health insurance, which was 120 euros. And with that, you don't have to buy any other books or supplies. So that's it. Like it's pretty reasonable. And even my rent, I'm paying for the entire year. I'm paying about 5,500. You can get it cheaper than that. I just decided I wanted a bigger room and a bathroom. So I ended up paying more, but you can get it for quite a bit cheaper. Also groceries are pretty reasonable as well. Like I've spent between 25 and 30 euros a week on groceries. Well, between a week and 10 days on groceries. So it's not that bad for groceries. Aldi's great. Don't expect to get like name brand anything, because Aldi runs on a low cost system. A lot of the stuff that they sell is their own brand. So be flexible and try things, and don't be like hesitant to like one brand of ketchup or whatever the case may be. So yeah, so I just wanted to again just put this video out here and give you an idea of what my experience is like in Ireland. And yeah, I really hope that you guys, if you're considering coming to Ireland, that you do. It's a great experience. It really adds something to your CV that not a lot of other Canadians have, and it just adds to you as a person. I know I've grown a lot in the last 4 months that I've been here, and I know I will continue to grow in January when I'm here for longer. So yeah, I would totally recommend it to anyone, and I just hope that if you are contemplating coming to Ireland to study, that I would just recommend that you do it. And yeah, just that's pretty much it. So I look forward to hearing any of you guys. If you guys want to, you can email me or find me on Instagram or whatever. I would love to talk more about my experience in Ireland. And yeah, I really hope you guys have a great day. Bye.